fight the power like BITCHUTE.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, the Dark Chameleon.
Peace in the
Listen, check it, yo. It was a cold April morning under the constellation Aries. The moon was 85% under the luminaries. From the celestial waters to the womb my soul was carried. Then my mother gave birth to a warrior and visionary. But when I speak this truth, I feel like nobody hears me. Every once in a while, I give sight to someone blind, floating on the globe in the heliocentric lie. Dilate your pupils the more you open your eyes. The truth is sitting in plain sight like a disguise. Until my mother's death is revenge, I won't be satisfied. It haunts me when I think about the phone call when she died. A river worth of tears shed from my eyes. So I looked up at the sky and I asked God why. It's been 21 years, I'm still waiting for a reply. Since birth I've been at war to attack our undeveloped minds. Indoctrination camps making us dumb, deaf and blind. I'm always thinking solutions, we are running out of time. The dirty witchcraft is weak, I see through all the lies. I clearly analyze all the symbols and the signs. When I connect dots, the truth starts to align. The people are the power, you can never eclipse my shine. I say the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. They say hell burns and there's a one-way ticket for me. You create your heaven or hell whether or not you believe. I'm God and Satan, I have to balance out my chi. One day these seeds I plant will bloom so you can be all you can be. Never give up and always hold your head high, cause you are God, there's no need to look to the sky.
That's how you open up. Excuse me, my bad. That was rude. That was very rude. How rude of me. How mother effing rude that was. Oh shit, what's up, Dean? Good to see you, bro. Kinda made my day. What's up, S? Peace. I was watching, you said you live over in, like, Britain and stuff, right? In Europe, S? Forgot the rapper's name, man. Some new rapper. He did a song with, what's that dude's name? Baby or Lil Baby or one of them. 6 Babies. I think his name is something C. He looks white, but I know he's not white. So-called white. But he talks about going band for band and stuff. I forgot his name, man, but he's pretty good. Central C or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's good to finally see somebody from Europe shining in the hip hop. Maybe, you know, Europe's always had people shining, but you never really hear about it over here. So all the American hip-hop artists that, I know Wu-Tang had a lot of artists that went to Britain and Europe and never came back. What's up, Dean?
Hey, Chuck, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my voice down because it's Maureen's still asleep.
900 degrees here today.
I was just watching Chief Ironbush. Been following Chief Ironbush a lot lately.
Yeah.
And the man has got a brilliant mind, and he can deduce bullshit from truth, and he can present his stuff pretty well. If you can't get what he's talking about, I don't know, probably learn to read and write would be a good idea. But, yeah. I was watching one this morning. It was about generational stuff, and how we're even, like, we get our talents and our skill sets from our generational history. When he was speaking on it, I thought straight away of Swiss watchmakers, and how you can get a Swiss watchmaker, and even though it's been a couple of maybe it wasn't his father, but his grandfather was a watchmaker, but that skill set has seemed to be passed down through the generations, so that the sons usually have these skills, or the daughters. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah. I've been looking for work the last week. As much as I talk shit about not wanting to work for someone, most likely I'm gonna have to.
Well, the other way is, if you don't working for someone else, you're working for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And the thing with working for yourself, if you haven't got a really great what do you call base, I suppose, like a base of people to be part of your income, then you really got to get out, and if you can't do it for yourself, you've got to be able to build it somewhere else. And usually, what we find anyway is you go to somebody else's business where they already
here. I love knowing you do, but
I know. I too myself was working for myself as a stone person, but as a business person, as my skill set as a stonemason, bloody great. I actually had a business running on it, but my business skill set didn't match my ability skill set, right? And so I wasn't able to sell myself as well. I think that's it, and I've worked for a lot of different people over my life, and it's, they've got the base because they've got the business skills, and they use my skill set to better their business, because I'm good at stonework,
I'm just gonna find something, like, I don't know. I'm mad about a couple of things, man. I was supposed to go to Tennessee. I lined everything up. It took me a lot of headaches to line shit up, and to stop my life to make another move is a headache. And I do it all, and now I don't hear nothing back. So, I'm not gonna jump the gun and talk hella shit yet, but I'm just sick and tired of putting my all into everything and getting absolutely shit out of it.
I understand, bro.
I have a right to be pissed.
Of course. Fucking A. I understand. And
I haven't got a return phone call yet, so I'm not going to jump the gun.
Yeah.
Give it a little more time.
How long's it been?
about 2 weeks. You know, I know
Oh,
people want things right away, but I explained that I can't just leave what I'm doing. This person depends on me, and that I'm truthfully tired of that shit too, man. I'm tired of a lot of. I'm not here to complain or, it's just a lot of shit that it's time to make a complete change in a lot of things in my life to better myself.
yeah, I mean, I always believe in like attracts like, bro. I really do believe in that. And, I mean, as I said, one other, excuse me, one other time, um, when I went to Australia, even though this like attract like sort of stuff might sound a bit odd, but coming in this scene, but I mean, I've been a smoker most of my life, so um, you know, even when I go places, somehow there seems to be some kind of connection where like attracts like, and I end up in a bunch where I'm able to get that stuff because I've met the people that I'm like, and yeah, so I kind of feel like when I go to somewhere or I move, now this is usually the case. Uh, like I can be in a place for years and years and years and just seem to not get anywhere at all. And then I'll just say, stuff this, and I'll just pack everything into me, all my belongings into one thing, and I'll put them in the car and I'll just move. And I'll drive somewhere to another town where I know not a soul. And I'll start sitting up, and then, the people
I
that
just
are
want to
that
disappear, man. I just want to disappear from everything.
yeah, well, that was what I was doing. I was disappearing. But the funny thing is, Chuck, is that I'd run into people like myself in these new places. Like attracts like. And and, and new, what do you call it? New ideas and everything come because you meet new people, even though they might be of similar background and similar likeness. There's always a new idea when a new person comes along. That's how it works. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Candy. My condolences to the people, man.
What's
That
that
sucks.
from? It's the same about being in StreamYard. When I come up, I lose all vision of the chat. I heard you say hi S, so I realised that S is there, and now I know that Candy's here. And hi to S and Candy. Hope you're both well. I hear that his condolences for Candy, and I don't know what that's about, but condolences to your sweetheart. Any loss is a painful experience. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm wrapped up at the moment. I've got a dog on one side, a dog on the other side, and a cat on my feet. The animals, they love us. They sleep on the bed with us, and we love it too, even though it restricts where you put your feet. Ah, my little dog wog, my little boy. It's a little dog walk. Oh, now the pussycat wants a pet too. How's your little pussycat going there, Chuck?
Good.
Has she settled down since the loss of her friend?
She seems to be pretty much over it now. But as much as they didn't get along, it's wild that it still bothered her. She could, she found her,
Yeah.
seen her dead on the living room floor, and it fucked her up. She wouldn't even come in the living room for a while. But
Well, if all is true, and I feel it is, her friend is not far away from her, and even though they may not have got on, they still have a connection, and that connection doesn't go away just because our ancestor or our friend passes into another location doesn't mean to say they disappeared altogether. I think that's something that we, through demonizing and all these sorts of things, we have pushed a lot of knowledge away from ourselves that we should never have done. And I know I can say I can blame the world for it, but I can also blame myself because I let it happen. I allowed that bullshit to enter my mind, and it's my responsibility to change that. Since coming to YouTube and meeting you folk over here, I've changed my life. I have literally changed my life. I used to be very, very angry and uptight. I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to let my built up tension out with. Not on, because that's what I was doing. I was letting it out on people until I started to meet people that were in the same boat. But they were seeing it in a totally different light because they were all conversing. When you get to talk about it and converse about it with other people, it's a huge relief. It's a release even of built up energies that you had no way of expressing, and you didn't know how to express, but only through anger, because you pushed it out onto people instead of listening and listening to them and listening to other people and getting a better handle on how to project, because that's where I was. I was pushing it onto people, I wasn't letting it out. And there's a big difference. It's a big difference.
I just want to jump on real quick what S said. S said MSN is trying to push the war this week and nobody's bothered. They're watching football. Same in America. It bothers me, but, when you try to speak out against stuff, you get people saying you're complaining. Just, comes to a point where it's like, why even fucking bother?
I know how frustrating it is.
Rick. Anyone know a Rick? Is that 3 fingers? Hold on. What's up, Rick?
How's it going?
Hey, is it Rick? What up, bro?
Yep.
Yep. Yep, I like that. Yeah. So, where you hail from, Rick?
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet home Chicago. Yeah, well, are you in the rural part of Chicago, or you're a central city person?
Cornfield.
Cornfield. Okay, so that's like some suburb. Is it a suburb of?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Not the city. Like where, I think, what's his name? That one of them, he's from Illinois too, but not from the city. Adam Calhoun.
Okay. So see, I mean, you guys are. You guys are, you can speak freely about these Illinois and different. How you say cornfield? I could tell.
What's about?
I could say,
Okay, from
oh,
that.
I'm in the Wairarapa, and you would go Wairarapa, and I could say, well, it's a bit like cornfield. It's a suburb of the Greater Wellington area,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I've never been to Chicago. I've been from Maine all the way down to Florida. That's about it. I need to
What's
travel
your
the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, I met a fella in Australia, and it's uncanny, but like, he was from, like-minded person, but he was from the islands, like Samoan Islands, and I says, so how did you get to Australia, bro? And he says, well, actually, I just boarded a plane and it ended up in England, and then boarded another plane and ended up in Australia. And I says, what do you mean? And he says, well, I says, so how much did that cost you? And he says, not a cent. And I says, what do you mean? How did you even get on a plane? He says, well, I just boarded this plane.
Huh.
And I ended up in an airport in England. And then I boarded another plane and ended up here in Australia. And he says, I never paid a cent. I said, how the hell did you do that? He said, I just walked on and sat down.
Huh.
And I thought to myself, how the heck did he get away with that? And I says, well, so what do you do for a job? He says, I don't work. I says, well, how do you get an income? He says, I just go places and people look after me. And I says, but, you're well dressed, you're well spoken, look like you're well fed. He says, yeah. He just says, I don't work, I don't do anything, I just walk.
What?
He just goes anywhere he wants to. How the hell does he do it? He just lives on the generosity of others.
I I just want to say, I hope the U.S. pulls out of this war.
Ah,
I wonder if Trump is gonna do what he said, because he promised if he got in that he would end the war. I mean, we have no business. We had no business being in the Middle East. We had no business being in the fucking Vietnam War. We had no business being in this so-called war, which I think is pretty much bullshit. I think it's like the theater of war.
well, the thing is, you can't get world support for a war unless you're out there shifting the bloody pieces on the map. You've got to have a war so you get bloody people to support you. That's how these buggers make money, isn't it? They create a war, they get the bloody thing going, they get all this expenditure, and then they recover the costs, and the people pay for it.
Yeah, the government makes all this money, man. It's about time. Hey, peace, Max. Good to see you here.
Hey, Max.
America owes, the government owes everyone reparations. They've been robbing and leeching off of us for who knows how long. These globalist fake Americans. They don't care about America. But
Well, I think, like when you think about it, that these buggers are just, they're copycats. They copy the bloody generation that before them, and they're all generational as well, But it's all about the wallet, I mean, you can have a person's, you can watch people with their moral compass go into politics, and their moral compass is subdued by the government's protocols. These people go in there with a moral compass, and they're going to make changes. And within 3 to 6 months, they succumb to the fat wallet and keeping their mouth shut and only voicing for whatever the policy that they've got lined up. I tell you, it's a scenario that happens all the time.
policy. Always with the ocean, huh? These pirates. That's what they are. They're pirates. Just like the police have turned into road pirates. I love that term. I heard Constitution State. It's a channel on YouTube. He's in Connecticut. And he called them road pirates. And I said, man, that's a perfect word for them. Because they're just robbing the people. Like, they constantly pull people over for making stuff up to tax them, to throw them a ticket. Like, that, it's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And they don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's all about them moving up in ranks.
And getting their pay packet. The biggest thing is the pay packet. You can't live without the pay packet. You and I are in the same fucking boat. We're forced into it, of course. We're not doing it willingly, but we're forced into having to wait for a pay packet.
I seen a video about Putin talking shit about the U.S. Like, what is that called? NATO. Fuck NATO. Like, NATO could eat a fucking nutsack. That's wild. America looks not like American people are running this country. The bunch of fucking pirates, and because how do you defeat a country like British? We allegedly defeated them, which I'm second thinking that now, because all the U.S. has ever done was kiss the Queen's feet. That's wild to me, and I never understood or understood that growing up. Like, how do we defeat them? Just like the bullshit, the bullshit Tea Party, right? To stop taxes, and yet we're being taxed more than ever.
Hi, well, it's bloody petrol's going up over here, I tell you. $3 in some places, $3.26 for a litre. A litre. A fucking litre, Chuck, you know? I mean, there's 4 of the fuckers in a gallon, man. You know? How much are you paying for a gallon? And we're paying $3.20 for a fucking litre.
You know what else blows my mind? When you use cards, they tax you money to use your card. These stores tax to use my card. That's another reason why I hate using cards. Like, and I gotta pay to use my card with my money, you know? It's like paying someone to spend my money at their store.
It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you know, knowing the value of the bloody thing, the dollar bill, it's worth nothing. You know? And you got these people, buddy, taxing your credit card for buying stuff. I mean, what are they making? They're making valueless money, right? Money that's worth nothing. You know, we're eating out of the food resources of the money that we can afford to pay, and it's yeah, it's just a waste, really. We're caught up in the fucking program of money.
Man, it's mind-blowing when I speak to people about a lot of this stuff, even like how dangerous the food is that's being sold and what they're doing to the air. At least when I was growing up in my teenage years, people were about knowledge and gaining wisdom and elevation, even if it meant to come together. But nowadays, it just seems, I don't know what's happened to the minds of people. They just don't give a shit. And as long as it don't bother them, they're not willing to do anything about anything.
I was in the council a while back, Chuck, and there was an elderly lady, a couple of elderly ladies in front of me. One had just finished, so she was going off, and she was really pissed because she just finished filling out all the forms that were given her to fill in, and she'd taken them back to the council, and obviously this was an ongoing issue, and they gave her another form to walk away with. And she says, this is impossible. How do I get to achieve what I want if all I'm given is forms to fill out? I'm always filling out forms. And she walked off mumbling about filling out forms. And I thought the frustration on that poor woman's face is just diabolical. And then the lady in front of me, she steps up and she's got the same kind of complaint. And then I realised that we were all three in line about the same bloody thing. And I thought, holy shit! And we're all people we're over 60. I can tell we're all over 60. And I thought to myself, shit! What a huge burden to place on these elderly folk who have given their lives to supporting the world, and then they get shit canned like this. This one lady said in front of me, she says, I can barely afford to cover the rent over my head and feed my animals. I can't even afford to feed myself. And I thought, holy shit, you know? And the woman behind the counter, she agreed,
Oh
but what
shit.
could she
Sorry.
do?
Oh, sorry, Max.
What could she do? She was just a woman behind the counter. You could tell that she felt for the situation, but she had no way of controlling it or making it any better for us. All she could do was give us forms to fill out.
You know who got the most bans? I looked it up. The EU and the UK got 60 banned, plus 229 specifically not approved pesticides, which are highly hazardous pesticides and are banned by other countries. Second's Brazil with 81. Like, the U.S. so far isn't even in the list. Like, they accept it all. Yeah, bring it on in, guys. We'll just feed it to them. We'll put fucking
Yeah.
sulfuric
Yeah,
acid in
BPA
your
free, but you
Kool-Aid.
got to have BPB, BPC, BPD.
Oh, Max, there you
How you
going.
doing, Dino? Good to see you, Charles.
Good to see you, bro. I mean, I'm not. Yep, I'm in the dark over here, so. But it's still daylight coming. Maureen's just waking up, stirring, and thinking to herself, "Bastard, he's talking again."
It just never stops, does it, Dino?
It never stops, bro. I tell you what, though. I mean, you know, even though when we look at like such as the situation as I was talking about with the council and how these, and I feel like it's just disrespect, really. It's just another form of dividing us away from our elderly, you know, and that thinking, because you know, the children take these things on board, and they don't see it in the same light. They don't see that some person has spent 60 to 70 years of their life doing their best for their country and their fellow people. And then they don't see that. All they just see is whatever they're taught, whatever they're scripted to believe. And so, you know, if they don't have grandparents, or they don't have respect for their grandparents, then you know, that generational passing of knowledge is just brought to an end. And this is what they're doing. They're bringing these generational things to an end by splitting the thinking of the children. You know, like this one young boy, he was well, these neighbours of ours when we lived in town. This young fella, he's 6 or 7 at the most, 6 I think. But he came across the road and he told me, "You know, you should be in a home." I mean, I was working a bloody chainsaw. I was just cutting down. I just stopped. And he told me I should be in a home. I mean, crikey. His idea of people in a home is people who have gone past a certain age group, right?
Yeah. The people who haven't kept themselves vibrant, you know, by using chainsaws and stuff, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, his idea, even his you know, like he didn't have any grandparents on one side of his family because they had committed suicide. His grandmother on one side has committed suicide, and then the father, the grandfather in the same family, he ended up dying from suicide. So the two of the children, There's only one girl left.
Holy.
Yeah, it's fucking shocking shit. But I mean, you know, even with
Serious
all that,
MK Ultra shit on them.
yeah, and these, you know, I mean, this boy's growing up with an ideal and an understanding that it's totally wrong. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Mm.
The world is chaotic. I think it has to do with the pumping out of fear and negativity. All these electromagnetic signals and it's thrown everything off.
Yeah, for the low price of around $60, you can have all that anxiety taken away. They've got a patch for it.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah, share my screen there. Got to share screen for you.
It's some more. They're selling a temporary high like religion.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they've taken the damage that they've done to us, causing anxiety and all that stuff through the energy waves going through our bodies. But now they give you, they'll sell you. Not only do they charge you to run electricity through your body, now they're going to sell you the cure for that.
Yeah, they'll sell you the drugs, get you hooked, and then they'll sell you the rehab.
Yeah, well, this is even better. They're curing you from the internet they're running through you. So you're paying for that. So you pay for your internet access, which is you, because you're part of the W band. Then they get you on the other end, you know, if you don't like the effects of the W band running through you, like, you know, pain and fear and anxiety and other things, lack of energy, lack of strength, they'll sell you a patch. They've got a patch for strength, vitality, insomnia, everything. For a low price of $60 a month.
No cures. We'll can't even think, man. I'm stoned. Damn weed. Every time I smoke it, it's so powerful.
Yeah, sometimes by the end of a show, I'm pretty lit.
I only smoke a bowl too. Like back in the days, I'd have to smoke two blunts
Yeah.
to the face. But they don't want to cure anything. They just want to treat it.
Yeah.
Keep
I'm really interested in these patches, right? Because it's how they log. It's one of the ways they log into your body. It shows it pretty clearly that that's what they're doing. Like this patch works for 24 hours. That's it. It's no drugs, no nothing. Just a QR code that you put on your skin.
You know what I'm waiting for, Max? I'm waiting for somebody to be able to hack. And let's say there is nanotech allegedly everywhere. I'm waiting for someone to come out with a video where they hack into somebody's nano or whatever tech they put, you know, inside of us.
For shits and
It's a
giggles.
possibility. They already have done it to everyone.
Yeah, apparently the technology exists for someone to basically walk around because we're pretty secure. We're a secure system. So they have to get within like a few meters of you. And with the new phones, the new 5G antennas and some software, I think there's another device that you need. But you can log into a person and give them a disease or start changing out their DNA or whatever you want. But that's expensive equipment, I think. And you have to get the person's MAC address. That's expensive. So it is quite a cost to do. These companies here that I'm talking about, the ones with the patches, they don't buy your number, they lease it. So your number gets they can log into you and do all these wonderful, fantastic things for you.
Yeah, we can get rid of your ads. We can get rid of your this. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of anything you want, but you gotta pay for it.
Make you learn better.
Temporarily. That's the problem. We can get rid of this. They don't tell you.
Yeah, how you got
That's
it.
why at the end of the video they put little fine print or they speak fast. people overlook it. Like, nothing to worry about.
And then what happens once you run out of patches? Do you crash? I'm not sure what happens, right? 'Cause you're getting all this extra strength and energy by buying.
Yeah, well, there's a good point there, Max.
What's going to happen once you stop them? Are you just going to like totally crash and be run down, and because you've started relying on this electronic stimuli to give you all these,
Yeah, well, what if they do an upgrade and you can't afford the upgrade? Does your one crash?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of problems with that. One of them is that the private company now has access to your MAC address. I don't like that idea because those are worth a fortune.
Yeah.
Sell them to people, like other governments. They would pay a bundle for your MAC address.
Well, you've got to look at it like you are a valuable item. You are valued as an item.
Oh yeah, that's why we're worried about Canada, because Trudeau let the Chinese come into our hospitals and look at all our information, and some of that information may have been our MAC addresses.
Yeah, we have to get these people out, man. I don't care what no one says. Oh, there ain't nothing we can do about it.
They're on their way out. We got to get them. Yeah, they're going.
There's a lot of sneaky bastards.
Yeah.
I just watched a bloody couple of shorts waiting for you.
Physically remove them. Huh? You're out of here.
Yeah.
I was just watching a couple of shorts waiting for the notification to come on, Chuck, and one I was watching was a sniper, and he was getting in real close, and the lieutenant said, "Okay, you win. How did you get in so close?" And the sniper stood up from where he was. Man, he was real close, and he says, "From being a sneaky bastard, Sergeant Major." And I thought, when you see that, these sneaky bastards, they're fucking sneaking in as close as they can get,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could sue the cable companies because they owe us a buttload of money for using us for part of the internet. Our governments for allowing them to. The military for creating the technology and developing it, which is a huge problem because they've been hiding that for 100 years since the induction of radar.
Exactly.
So the amount of damages that could be potentially laid upon them would be devastating.
Well, hopefully it'd close the bastards right down,
Yeah, we do need a military though, but
they're still spraying.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a military for the most part, ×6, but it's people. It's just up to the people, man.
Well, I think it really comes down to what we allow in our minds to let our minds take control of.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, it comes down to what you can discern as a person to what is mind control over your person, what you can allow to consent. You give your consent to.
Hey, Andy. See ya.
That's the problem I had yesterday reading this. They were going into the Master Mason and the degrees, and I was reading it. I think Manly P. Hall. Yeah, it was the Lost Keys of Freemasonry. And as a brother, you can't complain, And I thought to myself, okay, I respect that, but to what degree, So if you're ripped off and they've been stealing your tax money, you just got to turn your cheek to be a good brother, right?
Yeah.
That's the trickery, man. That's that
Yeah.
psychological warfare.
The same would not be afforded to you the other way, that's for sure. Right?
Yeah, it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
It's rules for thee, but not me. But that's why I talk so much shit, because it's not level. It's not both ways. It's one
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I know they've skewed the game, gotten everything in place for them to, try and take control.
What you've got to see though, Chuck, and then maybe you minimise it on yourself a little bit, but you're a window, bro. You're a lens into the devastation that this place can bring if you aren't aware. And that's that you're the lens that's making awareness come into many minds. And so don't ever give up on that, bro, because you are powerful in that on that platform. And Max, you're just the same, bro. You have a power because you have a platform. And you're willing to put yourself out there so that other people won't have to suffer, and that that you have to believe that is everything to a lot of people.
Thanks, Dino. If you see injustice, you can't keep silent. You got to speak out, whatever way you can. Everybody does, I think. I hope.
Of course, and I mean, that's why I just, a lot of the reason why I come onto these panels is to be a support,
Yeah.
to be a bit of verbal as well, but really, basically, to support, because I know that.
It's good to vent and you share your information. That's how we win this, is by sharing and getting together, sharing information. Getting that information out, maybe to a half a person or maybe even a whole person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all these little bits that we do that's going to win.
Well, I was intrigued by these patches that you were talking about last night. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to share a screen there, Charles, I've got one up there. I like this one. I'm actually thinking of buying one because.
Yeah, I seen that there, Max, but I didn't want to put it there because I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's an advertisement. Google, they'll like it that we put this up there. So, but this thing, what you do is you slap it on your arm, and then this one is like a QR code. The other one that I was looking at, this, what was it called? Signal patch. It has a separate QR code, and I'm trying to figure out where the login point is, because this one they describe how it sends the signals to your brain through something they disguise it vibrosonic technology or something like that. Basically, energy waves or pulse waves that they use, but these couch it in all kinds of funny language that doesn't clearly define what it is, which is fun. So
I just screenshot that. Thank you, Max. Chuck, it's just anything if you don't want me to keep it, I'll get rid of it. But
no, it's fine. It's fine. I've been talking about it on my show all the time now, because it's a really good way to explain to people how they're actually being logged into.
Yes.
Right? Here, what do you think of this? Here's a patch that'll do all kinds of incredible things for you. What do you think of it? And how do you think it works?
Yeah. Well, when you start talking like that with people, this is the beauty of conversation with folk who are not on YouTube, right? Yeah. This is how we can go to the people in the streets, yep, and talk to them. And I take advantage of that anytime I can.
Yeah, I know you do. You're awesome at that.
We've got to, Max, because,
yeah, you'll get some interesting conversations out of this one, I bet you.
I bet you I will. I bet you I will. Yeah, I just love that sort of stuff. You know, it's. I mean, we're the boots on the ground
Yeah.
people. You know.
Hi, Crystal. Yeah, I thought that this would be a good thing to share with people because it's a really easy way to open the door to talking about it. You know, because you can leave them with this and almost just leave it with them and go, how does it work? It's got no drugs, no nothing. And you can give them a video from their website that explains how it works. They send a signal to your brain. Well, how do they get that signal there?
Yeah, you got to.
And patch doesn't do
Wake
anything on its
people's
own,
mind up. I
right?
mean, there are people's minds that'll probably go, "Oh, I want that," and then the other
Oh, yeah.
people might go, "Oh shit," you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, it could be a totally positive thing. It could work out really well for some people, right? Like people like me that suffer with electrical damage. This signal patch, it basically it only goes on an area, though it seems. But you know, if you put it on your spine, I would imagine it would. It. I'm trying to figure out if it is the same technology or if it's a little bit different. This one actually logs into your body, but the signal patch might actually be some type of a signal blocker. I'm not sure.
Well, an interesting thing just popped into my head actually when you were like speaking, and I thought to myself, you know, if you were a person who didn't know anything about the internet, but you were experiencing things that you recognised were probably coming from damage from the internet, you could accept this. You would actually probably even seek one of these things out. Now, I only thought of that because of a situation I was in about bloody like it's actually more like 16 months ago, you know, like 18 months ago, where I was driving and I just got attacked by, well, I felt like I was being attacked by, some kind of EMF wave.
Yeah, energies of some sort.
Yeah. And I just thought, wow, I mean, right there was when you were talking, I thought, wow, if I was unaware of what the hell was going on, I probably would have run off down to the shop that sold those things straight away and bought one, right?
Uh-huh.
Just to get the relief from the situation.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you got to think to yourself, these things are going to sell like hotcakes, you know?
Yeah. I think they'll put them in variety stores. I even think I've seen them in a variety store. I'm not sure.
Now I know. Real quick, I'm going to show this picture just for 1 second.
Yeah.
Why they blindfold the Lady of Justice, right? It's supposed to be equal. Even the scales are a little uneven, but when I figured out, I learned at my teenage years that she was blindfolded, I laughed a little bit because I knew why. You know, it's just that whole illusion of equality with law, true justice. Yeah, real justice.
How can you fairly judge without law? Right?
You know, when you commit real justice, the law is against you, man.
Yeah, it's like her mind's already made up because she's got blinders on. She doesn't need to see the evidence.
Yes, there you go. That's what I was going to say.
I don't need to judge anything. I've already decided. I've already weighed everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see people really wanting this. Like, you know, I want to get out the information of how it works. You know, I don't know if people will be. I don't know. I'm just on this product. I'm like on the fence.
Looking like Tyson.
Hey,
he did. What's that called? Stem cell. Supposed, you know.
Yeah.
Spine and all that. So these people are already altering, probably.
Yeah.
the natural balance of things.
Oh, there's definitely augmented humans out there right now. Electronically augmented, genetically augmented, because you can augment your genes with light from the LED lights. And you could program yourself if you have the technology and the money and the know-how.
Well, I was just thinking, like, maybe Lonnie could do with one of these bloody things. But I'd be tempted to say that it'd be like a nicotine patch. It'd become a habit, right?
I think so. I think that's probably the idea. I'm sure that like each patch works for 24 hours, they say, so it's timed. Has no drugs, no nothing. And what happens after 24 hours? You're probably going to feel really down. Just like you came down off something,
Yeah.
Crash and burn. You'll have to get that next patch. I agree. I think it'd be like addictive.
Yeah.
Just imagine waking up in the morning and you're just so refreshed, happy, vital, and then you run out of patches. And you just feel like absolute crap.
Your fucking stash just run out. Oh no.
Yeah. Right?
And then the next thing you know, people will be stealing other people's patches, and the bloody rackets will go on from there.
Yeah, they can start up, a black market patch.
Exactly.
We'll hack your system. We found a way. Don't worry. We'll do it for half the price. Now they've got control of your entire body.
That
whole
is
thing
so
could go very wrong.
like a nightmare when you think about some of these things.
Yeah. Like if you could get the right technology, find somebody with a super patch on, you could probably intercept the signal, get their MAC address, and just hack them that way. If you can get close enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, people will do that. I mean, people are going to do that anyway. I mean, this as I say, hijack. People hijack pirates. There's bloody pirates everywhere.
Oh yeah,
right?
People do that type of shit just for fun.
Yeah.
Hackers and all that. They'd love to try that shit. Problem is, they're experimenting with another human being.
Well, I got the whole sense of it a lot of this when I was watching that bloody new latest Godzilla movie. My friend he's got a platform he can log into where he can watch movies before they even come out, and like onto the world stage sort of thing. There's plenty of those platforms about, but the one we were watching with him was this Godzilla, and the Godzilla that is a new form of Godzilla. It's a bloody machine, right?
Oh yeah, Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, and but the only way to fix it, to kill it, to stop it, even Godzilla itself was going to get destroyed by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to stop is to stop it was to actually shut the internet down. And it reminded me of the same situation as the movie that Chuck got me to watch, and it was about 9. 3 little puppets, or 9 little puppets, right? All made of
It was
material.
The guy used his soul to create the 9 different dolls or whatever.
But they had to shut the damn thing down because that was the only way to stop it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the machine he built. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it was like AI. It was like AI, and it would rebuild and create weapons. It was like very intelligent. The machine he built.
Yeah.
But
and so I kind of feel like a Godzilla of the same category. He had to shut the internet down to kill the damn thing.
Yeah.
which
That's like the
really
creation story.
kind of speaks of volumes in that we are caught up in this internet, and if if we want to stop the bloody shit, we're going to have to shut it down.
It's hard to do. You'd have to shut everything down. NextRad, Doppler, Wi-Fi. You'd have to shut
You'd have to
down the
cut
lighting
the whole
system because they use LEDs. That's if the internet goes down, they don't care because they've got LED lights. They can program and communicate.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
got these hackers that can get in close and hack other people's what do you
Biofield.
call it? Yeah, but you know, a Gmail address or email address, what do you call it?
Oh, the MAC address, yeah.
MAC address, sorry. Yeah. But you know, I mean, that there are people capable of getting in and hacking that. It just makes you wonder what stops us from getting someone that can go in and hack the whole system, shut it down. Well, nobody wants to be going back to living without comfort,
Yeah.
right?
You're not going to get techie to destroy the entire thing. Well, you might. There are some nihilists out there. Hi, Naga.
So I mean, I don't know. You know, like do we shut the whole thing all down and start again? Well, I mean, I think we're still going.
Well, I think we should get rid of their databases.
I think this already happened one time. This war between tech and people.
Okay, I've wondered that myself, Chuck.
That's what all the lost things they were looking for, probably underground and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even when I see people go in caves, they look like old buildings under all this dirt. Like something huge happened, like a big.
There's claims that the Anunnaki had artificial intelligence and that they could have made robots or machines to do all the mining for them, but they decided against that because of the inherent threat of artificial intelligence taking over, especially once you give it bodies, many bodies.
Peace, Naga, Crystal, Groove. Who else had came in?
And they want
It's a
to set up.
possibility.
They want to set up an artificial AI in us too. Each of us having an artificial intelligence.
Well, that's what I see is in the patch too.
Yeah, well, it actually, you know, it's got two sides. It's a double-sided sword, right? Used properly, it could advance humanity immensely in miraculous ways. But like, imagine if you were 30% smarter, 30% stronger, 50% more vibrant. What you could do. Right? On conversely, you know, they could make you 30% sicker, 30% stupider, which they're pretty much trying to do now.
Should they do that through so-called education?
Yeah.
Well, when I look at the slice of cheese that they call our brain and what part we use, I would say we've been already dumbed down quite a bit, right?
Yep. We have. People are under constant brain fog too a lot of times, which is an effect of wireless radiation.
And metal poisoning for like aluminum and stuff. I looked, it attacks the brain in many ways. That's why you get Alzheimer's and seizures. It's almost like the aluminum is interfering with the natural flow of energy. It's like you have seizures. That shit's like it's like cutting a fucking electric cord, or putting.
It's everywhere too. It's in all the cars, all the rims. Everything's made of aluminum. It's ridiculous. We know it's toxic, so.
Yeah, everything they're spraying in the sky.
Yep.
It's affecting everybody. Yeah, well, we used to have a big pot. I kind of stopped worrying from using them because they were aluminium, right?
How about all the C8 that went up in that dumped in a river, and then whatever was coming out the smokestacks, the ducks would fly over them and they would drop dead instantly. As soon as they inhale a little bit of that, they're dead. They're falling out the sky. So if that's being released all day, every day at them factories, for how long? Fucking 30, 40, 50 years?
Yep.
I mean, one drop of C8 could poison an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and they were dumping truckloads.
Wow.
So we're probably being poisoned to oblivion.
Well, one thing I made sure we've stopped using is bloody aluminium pots for cooking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Crystal, I live in the windiest city pretty much in the world, actually. This is one of the windsurfing capitals of the world, Hamilton, Ontario. There are no windmills at all. None.
None?
None. No. Nope. We have perfect landscape that channels the air, and it makes a huge wind tunnel in a large area, and the windsurfers come here from all over the world to use our winds. We don't have a freaking windmill anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Me and my buddy are going to build one. We got an alternator. We're going to build one. It's going to be one of those ones that spins around in a circle, not the stupid fan blade ones. Those are stupid. You do a direct drive. You can get it like an alternator, a 12-volt alternator, convert it so it'll generate power. And just you could even use like half of a barrel, you know, a bunch of those lined up, and it just spins around in a circle. No extra parts, no nothing. And they work in low speed. They
right, so you have a ratio that ups the...
Yeah, they chose the most inefficient design to use for windmills. A round design, a design where it like spins around a tower instead of having a tower with a big floppy thing on top. It works way better. It self-regulates everything.
Right, because I mean these wind bloody turbines we've got over here, they got the Tararuas are just a line of wind turbines. It's a wind farm, right? And but the thing about them is that, you know, these things are 80 to 100 feet high, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about them is that you've got to realize that when you've got a thing that's 80 to 100 feet high, you've got to have at least not quite a third of that in the ground, right?
Yeah.
And so this old guy, we're talking to this old guy down the river, and I said, oh, what do you think of all the bloody, you know, because the sound of, you could hear them. You know, what do you think of all this? Don't you want to move away from here? And he says, well, I'll tell you something. He says, there's an even greater problem happening going on underground that we're not even aware of. And I said, oh, what's that? And he said, well, these things, because they're so high, they're also into the ground and a fair way, you know, like a third of their height is almost in the ground.
Uh-huh.
Or a third of their length is almost in the ground. And so he says, what's happening is they're acting like a fracking machine, and they vibrate in the ground, and they're unsettling the earth around them. So you're going to get landslides of all sorts and slippings and all sorts are going to start coming out from this, because these things are like working like fracking in the ground, right?
That's terrible.
And hell, I didn't even think about that, you know?
Huh. It's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
they're insane. They even have to run a diesel engine to keep it up to speed, so that when the wind does go to speed, it's still turning. So you're using fuel to run it when there's not enough wind, and then if there's too much wind, you have to shut it down. So it only runs in a small window of wind speed, which, you know,
yes, exactly, Max.
they do that on purpose, man.
They charge a lot of money for them, and then they're embezzling or keeping most of it. It's a joke. It's not environmental friendly. We have them in Connecticut off the coast,
Yeah.
and the fishermen complain, excuse me, that it kills birds and is just more a problem to the environment than helping.
Yeah, but each one of those, if you spend the money to put one up, like $1 million, I think it is, the government gives you $600,000 a year as a subsidy for putting it up.
Yeah, and if you've got
Yeah,
20,
So you,
you'll make
you
it
borrow
money.
$1 million in 2 years, you pay it back, and you're still made,
the
buttload
city
of money.
workers will see it, not the townspeople. That should see it. That's another crooked, hypocritical part of the system, right?
Yeah,
The people get leached on and sucked dry of their hard-earned money, and what do they ever get back but a headache?
right.
It's a joke. This whole system.
Hi, Alchemos.
Hey, okay. Much
Please,
love, bro. Much love to everyone in the chat.
You know what I was thinking, Max, about this? My theory. You can see the Pisces fish in the center.
Yeah.
The crossroads would be Jesus. That all cosmology of our ancestors used and applied, except for NASA. They took us out of the cosmic egg and threw us on the shell. That's my theory. And this looks like an apple. Could this be the apple that contains all the information of the universe and the ether, or the Taurus field? This is the apple that you tap into or bitten into that they speak on in the Bible. I don't think it was a literal apple, but
Yeah,
if
the magnetic
ether,
field holds the Akashic records of the memory of mankind.
yeah.
So yeah, and it's in every particle too, because it self-repeats. As soon as something's imprinted on one magnetic field, it automatically gets printed on them all.
Because even trees hold memory.
Yeah.
Like,
Every cell, every atom holds memory, holds the memory of the universe through the magnetic fields. That's how come we can just go inside and see all time, all history. It's all inside us in the Taurus field.
I think churches try to bring the crossroads to the people, and I think there's something with the journey to the center. There's something sacred about it, and we're being kept from it. We're also being kept from going south.
Yeah. Well,
like,
yeah, playing south, yes, of course.
Is it to protect because we're so parasitic, or is it to keep us enslaved?
Well, I think, there might be something out there that they don't want us to know, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Probably stuff they don't want us to see either.
Yeah.
Like giants and
Yeah, pyramids, giants, aliens, other technologies.
I think they're still living in like giant animals and huge trees and all that still out there. I don't think they're dumb enough to knock it all down,
I did a 2-week series on Antarctica. We looked at the German bases. They were pretty icy, the German ones, but they were building a giant ship. We looked at the non-human installations or bases, whatever you want to call them, the next time. And they were lush and green, so there's a stark difference between the two. No giant ship either. But yeah, they seem to be in a paradise, whereas the Germans are living in an ice cave.
I think there might be like gates out of here. One was called the Pillar of Hercules. There's got to be a few.
The thing I've been noting is that a lot of glazing companies now don't use actual glass. That silica the silica that they make glass with is now used for other things, and that glazing is now made of another substances or other substances rather than glass.
So is it all plexiglass or what?
Well, yeah, but a bit like what do you call that? One that looks like a glass. Crikey, yeah. Yeah, it's like a plexiglass.
Yeah, plexiglass they use on like campers and other places, you know.
Yeah.
It's moldable. It's just a plastic, really.
Yeah, it is. It's just a plastic, yeah. And so, I mean, even double glazing now is using plastics rather than glass.
I suppose it'd be stronger.
I feel like they're using the silica to the best advantage they can.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taking it out of these situations where, like, you can't even get a glass window to replace some of the type of glazing that from the olden days, you know. That's just impossible to buy. If you go and buy glass, it's not even real glass, and then it's bloody expensive as shit, you know. I think we're going to end up with a real frost this morning.
It would be nice to be able to jump on a boat. Like, I've always wanted to explore. I had so much energy when I was younger, even though I'm not that old at all. But and there's still room to travel. If I had a fucking boat.
I've made a couple boats.
Have ya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was even thinking maybe a small boat, and then I was looking at videos of these huge fishing boats in the ocean. I said, no way would I go on a little boat.
If you trust the boat enough, it's all right. Mine, I filled the sides of mine and the bottom with foam, so it has no chance of sinking. Because I live on Lake Ontario, it's like an inland sea. So, and I tethered myself to my boat. So,
I had a heart attack. Like, I went deep sea fishing for the first time about 2 years ago, and it wasn't that bad. And I was still feeling nauseous because I don't go out all the time. I'm pretty sure if I went every other day, it would, I'd get used to it. But the videos I've seen where these big ships are getting demolished by these huge waves, they're going up and down. It's like, I give them credit because, that can't be fun. 24 hours and then the storm just...
Well, going up and down on a smaller boat too, you get sick, and you really don't want to be out in that kind of shit at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't even. You imagine all these people that went out into the new worlds in these little wee bloody things would be lucky the size of a
walnut. A little 100 foot long boat. Yeah. They go right up the top of a crest, 100 feet tall. Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, these people...
They just ballast that boat so it stays upright in the water, and away you go. That's what the Vikings did too, eh? They used to put rocks in the bottom of their boats when they head out, so that they had good enough ballast to keep them upright. And then when you go and steal all your booty, you throw out the rocks and put your booty in there.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, how much booty you can carry depending on how many rocks you can carry, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Little wiggle room maybe, but not much.
I mean, over here in New Zealand, we've got... they had clippers coming over here and taking logs away,
Yeah.
And the oh, it's not Ted. He's snoring. the ships would come in and they use that ballast, the rocks, and they'd go in as far into the estuaries as possible before they touch the bottom, and then they'd move a little bit out, and then unload all the rocks and load all the weight of logs back on, right?
Yeah.
And then they'd use the high tide to shift them back out, and away they'd go and cart the logs away. So basically it's that ballast. Even in like ships going from port to port nowadays, they'd take on backloads. But, you know, in the old days, there would have been ships going back empty-handed. And they would have had to have some kind of ballast, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can't go without ballast.
But that's interesting. If you go into harbours now, and I mean, I've done this. I've had a look around harbours, and you can find where they loaded logs out just by the ballast heaps everywhere. You know?
Yeah, I guess you would. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an interesting little find there. And actually, you know, you got to think to yourself, how did they spread diseases around the world? Well, we chucked in a whole heap of ballast rocks from here and take them all the way over there. They wonder how that bloody critter got up over here. Well, brought it in by ship in a ballast rock, right?
Yeah.
You wonder where diseases come from. And, you know, the things spread across the world. How did that get here? Well, maybe it came in the ballast bloody tank of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Mm.
Yeah, that's how we got the steelhead carp here. Chinese brought it in their water ballast tanks. They dump out the seawater and fill up their ships. But they're dumping out these invasive species of carp.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm. I mean, people don't even acknowledge it, that it would happen, you know. Mm-hmm. And they're out there with all these border controls stopping people from bringing the stuff in, but they're not stopping the bloody ships from doing it.
I like that one. I like the layered one. That was cool.
I mean, I said that to her. We got a thing called over here called just a bloody thing just escaped. It's a type of mold. Dididus or something. But anyway, it's a mold that grows in water, and Ditimo, that's what it's called, Ditimo. And this Ditimo is like it's invasive. Once it gets into the bottom of rivers and lakes and that, it just takes over, and it's like a slime thing. It just covers the rocks and kills off all other algae and other fauna in the water. And they had a program here in the country where they were everybody who went fishing, anybody who used a boat or gumboots or footwear in rivers had to wash that gear and sterilize it to stop the spread of Ditimo.
Yeah.
And one day me and me mates, we'd just been out on one of the lakes, and we'd been out to do a little bit of fishing. And we come back in, so we were in line to go into the wash, to wash all our gear, to wash the boat, to wash our footwear, wash all our bloody stuff, our fishing lines and stuff. And while we were waiting, there was one of these math guys come along, and he's making sure it's all done properly and inspecting the boats and what have you. And I said to him, I says, you know, this is a big program here. There's a lot of money being spent cleaning boats and that. I said, what kind of program have you got for the ducks and the swans? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, we got bloody wild birds around here flying from bloody lake to river to lake to river all across the country. What are you doing to wash their feet? He just looked at me with a dumb look on his face. Bloody hell, I mean, absolutely. We are just bloody being rorted by stupidity, aren't we?
They're saying this is Nibiru. I remember hearing about Nibiru or Planet X about, I don't know, 7 years ago, and they were like, it's here. They were showing like glares in the camera lens and stuff, and there's another planet, and 7 years later, it died out.
Yeah, me and my wife thought we saw another planet in the sky in 2012. It was in the northwestern sky. It was there for 20 minutes, had 2 long trails coming off of it. It was the size of the moon, and the sun illuminated it, but then dusk came and it went away.
Interesting. Because I'm not saying it's not possible, because I think, the lands next to ours have their own system going on, and they could cross over, or it could be a hologram the military's trying out. There could be many.
Yeah. Well, the amazing thing to me and my wife was, we saw a planet go by, at least visually, and absolutely nothing happened to our planet. So either planets going by don't do anything to us, or that was a hologram, or something different. I don't know, dimensions mixing. Could have been anything. It was very, very elusive. Like it looked like the moon does when it's kind of almost translucent, but not quite. You know what I mean?
One night I caught something cool. It was the brightest planet star I've ever seen. And when I thought it was, but when I zoomed in, I thought it was like a hologram or something fake, but it was vibrating.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the same size as the moon in the sky too. We pointed it out to other people when we were looking at it, and they looked at it, but I don't know. They were like, it didn't make any impression on them that they saw another body in the sky. That wasn't the moon.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like it just blanked in their consciousness. No, I don't see that.
Yeah. And even if they did see it, they don't want to talk about it just in case they don't have any explanation, or they might look a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it looks like this our realm, but it just keeps going, or there could be other ripples, like other places that started like a ripple effect from the center out. I would love to find out. I guess they have to herd the sheep somehow, right? To keep us, the Lords of the Rings. Keep them trapped.
I want to see what's in Antarctica. That's for sure. I want to know what's hiding under their bases.
I got a friend who went and bought a bloody a yacht, and it's got a ice breaking hull, right?
Yeah.
A keel on it's made for breaking ice, but it's a yacht. It was built in South Africa, and sailed out to New Zealand, and by a doctor. He bought, whether he bought it over there or whether he made it over there. I'd say he made it. By the way my mate talks about him, my mate bought the boat off him, and they've got it anchored in the Tauranga Harbour, but they're needing a lot of work to get it back up to, like the old boys let it go a bit. Yeah. But they need to upgrade a lot of the onboard computer workings and stuff like that. But they're working on that. But I said to Darren, as soon as you make a decision we're going to Antarctica, I'm on board, mate. I'm coming.
Yeah, you better hold him to that.
Yeah. Oh, he told me. He said, you know, you're in the bloody crew, mate. I've done a bit of sailing. My father was he made his first little P-cast yacht when he was young, and he taught me to sail. Done a bit of it myself. I enjoy it.
How hard is it to get money from Cuba? I got a 1995 Tres Pesos Republica de Cuba, and it's a 1995. It's got some guy with long hair, and he's got one of them hats with the upside down 5-pointed star. It says Patria o Muerte.
Well, I better get out of this blooming pit, I suppose, and go and put the jug on. Before I could see the bloody hills, but now I can't see a thing. We're fogged in today.
Yeah, it was raining here. It was raining so bad it looked like somebody was shoveling water. I mean, the raindrops were the size of my fist. I said, oh man, genetic modification. I mean, not genetic modification.
Geo-weather, I like to call it.
Yeah.
Geoengineered weather.
It's still a modification there, Chuck. You're damn right about that.
Yep. Weather Modification Treaty between Canada and U.S., 1979. Was the first one.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a young fellow during the 70s, I experienced a heat wave, and I kind of thought to myself that it was really unnatural, and I wondered if engineering was happening then in our country in its early days, right?
I would consider it quite likely.
Yeah. I look back on it now and I feel like it was totally it, right? But
yeah, like now in the States, in Canada, we're having new what are called heat domes. So they're air that just stays hot no matter what happens where the wind blows, and it stays in that area. How does it do that?
yeah, how does it do
Right.
that? Exactly. Manipulation, of course.
All the air around it's moving, but that air just happens to want to just stay right there. Yeah, okay. That's how it works.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they did it with Epstein Island, didn't they? They put that bloody tornado over there and they just kept it there, you know?
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, that tornado just fucking came back and just circled right around Epstein Island and destroyed the bloody thing, right?
Oh, okay. Good way to get rid of evidence, yeah.
Yeah, that was how it was done, all right, you bet. Bloody oath.
Yeah, they keep claiming, global warming, but, if you've got all these radiation devices pointed at the atmosphere, how about you turn them off for a while and see what the atmosphere really does?
Well, I was just amazed, when, Phil Craig was with me and we were sort of basically communicating on through Facebook at that time. And he actually had a video, and you could tell that there were cluster bombs going off in the Tongan volcanic eruption. And we knew by the sound of it that it wasn't your normal volcanic explosion. No. It was almost like a series of cluster bombs going off.
Yeah.
And I could almost count to 5 myself, but some people could only count 3. Others were counting more. But I went straight in and had a look at the damage report on the sea floor straight after that happened. And it really did show that there was some kind of force that didn't seem to come from upwards. It seemed to come from down and out, not up and out, right?
Yeah.
So me and Phil talked about that, and I'm pretty much sure he's still got the video. He's pretty much saved it to a hard drive of some sort.
Yeah.
I wish I had that much knowledge about computers when I had all that information too, and I could have bloody recorded and kept a lot hidden on hard drives.
That was Syria. They hit with a series of 7 earthquakes all in a row. I think it was Syria. Just a few years ago.
Okay.
They got hammered. One of the Middle Eastern countries. I'm not sure that it was Syria, but yeah, they used one of their earthquake machines, and I don't know which one, but they pretty much blasted a line of earthquakes throughout the country, just devastating it. You know, they were in turmoil for months.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that some of the stuff that we keep on our hard drives and stuff so that the internet can't remove it, right?
Yeah.
But if you had one of those patches, those bloody things could probably slide into your bloody machine and take whatever they want, right?
Figured it's active.
I don't know. It'd probably have to be electrically active. It'd have to have a power source because we supply the power source for them.
I just kind of feel like if you had a patch on you and it was hooked up to your iMac,
yeah,
to your Mac code, well then it's gonna hook up to whatever.
Yeah, it'll hook up to your phone and your computer. Yeah, it does hook up to them, but it needs a power source.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, even
if you just had it up and running and not connected to the internet, it might be able to log into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder who the critter was that came up with those.
It's based on military technology of nanotech. The papers are available.
Hey, right.
So yeah, it's for communications.
Started
off. Everything communications always starts off as military because they need the most secure
I should imagine a soldier who's got a patch on him. He's up his abilities by 30%. He's probably way better shaped to attack the enemy than somebody who's just running on normal. Yeah,
the military could already be deploying super soldier technology quite easily. You'd think the enemy would probably figure that out and come up with jamming signals. They do use jammers. Jammers can stop you from logging in.
Yeah, well, I call
break the communication. But that's very damaging to your body. But
well, I mean, if you're wearing a patch and you're suddenly reliant on it, and somebody jams the signal, you might be in trouble, right?
You could be.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a complicated and weird technology, but that's based on nanotech, like graphene-based healthcare. What they do is they get graphene around you, on your skin, and some in you, and then they can do all kinds of stimulation and sensory work.
Graphene reminds me of Max. That movie with what's that comic book character? that black goo that goes in them. That's
Venom?
yeah, venom. That's what graphene reminds me of. Venom.
Yeah, they've done like those experiments with it with magnetics and electricity, making it spiky and all kinds of. It's a great metamaterial. You can make some pretty cool black goo. It's kind of more grayish, but yeah. They can move it around with magnetics and stuff like that and get it to form different shapes. And
They
they're very
put
good
that
at
in
it.
my water.
Hey?
You know, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, so they want to be able to do that inside you.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I feel that's disrespectful to the
It
fullest.
No consent asked, you know. We weren't asked.
I don't know. I think they're more than narcissistic.
Well, yeah, they, you know, by the graphene-based healthcare, what they can do is stimulate neurons and stimulate muscles, so they could pretty much turn you into robot pig. You know, that pig they made wander around in different directions and do different things. That'd be us. You know.
Have a great evening, Crystal, or night, or morning. Thank you for coming by.
Problem is, graphene's not good for us, but they don't really care about that. I don't think. As long as they can do their experiments, you know.
That alone shows that these people don't care about us, but for some odd reason, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. It's tough to understand how we allow this to go down. So desensitized as people we are.
I don't think we've got much of a choice, actually. To be honest, Chuck. I really don't think we've got much of a choice, bro. I think the only real choice we have is being able to align ourselves and keep our minds open and aware, and just not let these troubles get on top of us.
You know, they tricked and fooled their way in, and they're devious, evil people who've been doing this for generations. So
Exactly. Yeah. It's. I don't know how long it's going to take before we've got the tipping point, because I still believe that it comes down to mass, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
get that critical mass of people.
Yeah.
Aware.
So I'm still confident. I'm still confident that one day the critical mass will shift the whole polarity. Right?
Well, I'm sure that each one of us has reached at least one or two people, and that really is a huge effect, because that doubles every time they go out. You know, and there's other people doing it too. You know, we all do our little part. If we can do that small part, that's really the best you can ask, because it's a difficult task, you know, to change a mind or to get someone to wake up to the awareness of things are wrong. That's hard.
Yeah, my roommate thinks looks at me and says, "You think everyone's out to get you?" And I go, "You damn right. I'd rather be paranoid and prepared than unprepared and not even worrying about it." But my roommate don't see that the news has propaganda. You know, my roommate was like, "Why would they lie to us?" And I'm like, my roommate.
Yeah, they take advantage of people who have good natures. They think, why would anybody be that evil? It took me a long time to convince my wife that our government and people were evil, just for the sake of being evil. it's hard for a normal person to wrap their head around. Why would anyone want to do that to people? Why would anyone want to do these types of things? That's so
They get fixations
evil.
off of
Yeah, it's
getting
very
over on
hard to
people
explain
get
to a
high.
normal, caring human being how somebody could do that to others, and it takes a lot to get them past that.
They were probably abused. It was passed down, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
many other so-called rituals they do. They were born into it. They know nothing else. So I try to.
Yep, that's
I
true as
don't know
well.
what word I want to use, but
Yeah, they get pretty. I call it systemic abuse, through the generational systemic abuse.
there's no excuses, for what
Yeah.
they've done.
The ones that aren't strong enough, they don't make it. Look at all the politicians and people's children that have suddenly died. Mysterious deaths and stuff.
Yeah, I think they are definitely like magicians with their illusions.
Yeah. So they even kill and sacrifice their own. They don't care about you.
My favorite picture is with Yahweh with the TV antennas.
Yeah, I like that one. I remember
Well,
that.
I don't know if it's TV antennas, but that's what I call them.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
He's
Little
broadcasting
bunny ears.
religious signal. Where is it?
Yeah, we were talking about crowns the other day too, and hats. Those big hats. If that was like a better communication with the ether and stuff, or even like the crown cutting you off from other people's thoughts so they couldn't read you, or different kinds
I
of
know what
things
you're
like that.
talking about. I have some pictures of these people with
Yeah, remember the old stovepipe hats, right?
yeah.
And then there was the dunce cap that used to be the wizard's hat.
I was just gonna say that. Yep, the dunce cap.
Yeah. Oh, there's a painting. Actually, there's like a 16th or 17th century painting of God over the earth with two antennas coming out of it.
Oh, did I show you the pictures of the giants I found?
I haven't seen this one before. That one's cool.
Yeah, I was looking for the this guy got sort of a pointy hat on, but I don't, sort of a dunce cap, maybe a smaller version.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wonder if those were like, for communication, or better connection to the ether, or,
Now look at these giants. The guy sitting in the chair is definitely huge compared to those little people at the bottom.
Yeah.
And
Same thing, yeah.
same here. All them people in line are not nowhere near as tall as that guy in the center there.
Yeah.
And people, they say, oh, well, they drew him bigger to show the representation as a king. Well, that's why they have a crown.
Yeah.
And that's why they're sitting on the throne. And I think they were 12 feet tall and 14 feet around there.
Be a good reason to call you king.
Hell yeah. I want to get stepped
I'm
on.
more than twice the size of you. You better call me king. Like every time there's like they have up north called king bears, and they're like bears that rule the forest, and they're just bigger bears than other bears.
Well, armed with the knowledge that everything's generational, we've got a lot to be disheartened when we know that these giants were genocided.
They were purposely destroyed so that their generations would not be heard by some word.
The big ones were. We had to get rid of the big ones, apparently, because they were just consuming mankind.
I mean, you're in a position to do so when you're fairly large, but I think that had to be a program in itself as well, right?
You know, you read the Book of Giants. You and I, we wouldn't exist in that world because we would have been eaten long before we ever reached puberty or anything. They just kept a few females for breeding and for priestesses. But everybody else was edible.
Which means to me, I feel like I don't feel like at some point that we didn't really even need food as such. I feel like
even Lemuria, but that's kind of a Blavatsky order, or what is it? OTO, Order Templis. I can't remember, but anyways, I don't believe that.
You know, like how, for me anyway, I don't know if it works for everybody, but I know that when it's really wet weather, I don't even need to drink water, Max. I'll be off to the bloody toilet every hour or so, and I think I'm actually ingesting water through my skin, right?
It is interesting. The first creatures on the planet on planet Earth were the Cyclops. According to Hesiod. I don't know what they ate.
Well, that's what I feel.
The gods came after them. Did they eat the gods? I don't know.
Well, that means there had to be some kind of food had to be there for them beforehand, right?
I suppose there was still eggs and stuff around because they sprung from eggs from the earth. So the other eggs around they could eat.
Well, I just wonder whether we've, you know, like, whether code has made us get teeth. You know? I don't know. To me, I feel like you could just about code anything.
Yeah, we can. They found that they could change your body, like your DNA, without actually changing your DNA. All they do is they change the architecture signal that your body's receiving. So
to me, the same kind of
move your eyeball wherever they want, give you sharper teeth, I guess, you know, pretty much anything.
Yeah, even producing teeth. I mean, we may not have even had teeth.
Yeah, they could stimulate tooth growth.
Yeah. And so that comes back to my saying where, excuse me, I'm just putting some stuff back in the fridge, but where it's possible that we didn't ingest in our, you know, like we didn't need ingestion of food.
I think we ate mushrooms. That's my thought.
Well, that's one of mine. Yes. It was more like we ate mushrooms rather than anything.
In my what I think so far is the Earth was probably rotting at the time, so the only thing would be molds and fungus, and hopefully some nice mushrooms.
Well, the thing is, even with our own bodies, we've got fungus, right?
Yeah.
And,
there's all parasites, too. The Earth had parasites. All those giant sea creatures, those are like parasites, I think. Probably ate those, because they were giants, too, right? I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out if there was a time when we didn't need food. You know?
There's the Lemurian theory. So we descended. We were like Jello type creatures. We were immortal, and we didn't need to eat. Fire couldn't hurt us. Water, nothing. And then we kind of descended into more solid forms, becoming more conscious and on the way. Like we were kind of like, I guess, kind of like in a semi-conscious state. I don't know. It's an interesting theory, but at that time apparently we didn't have to eat. It only came later that we had to eat.
Were these the hats you were talking about? Or not hats, but more or less like
Crowns, yeah, like that, yeah. Like even the Popey hat, he's got a big hat, right? Seems like the big guy with the biggest hat seems to rule, right?
or a wig, the big wig.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if some of these hats were actual technology, like communication.
I think so.
You know, there's specific reason for putting gems in certain places. You know, wizards' hats and all that. The Anunnaki had horned hats, like with 7 horns on it to show their command of the 7 chakras. 7 Taurus fields.
Or they're vital points to the body, or like portals.
Yeah.
The energy.
They are like that, yeah. In us. That's what one of the things they use is our chakras and our like blood system and our endocrine system, because there's certain points where they cross, and those create like nodal points they can use. Well, apparently, again, I'll tell everybody here, by getting the goosebumps, you stop them from logging into your body. So if you can figure out a way to give yourself goosebumps, I've talked about it at length on my shows. That apparently will help keep us out of the system. See you, Alchemist.
Peace, Alchemist. I think they could even turn on and off the power, like the 7 stones that what's his name had in his glove. Is the 7 chakras or the 7 tones or whatever. When those people were disappearing, remember when he used one of the stones? All the Marvel comic people were like turning to dust.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen that. Where'd Dino go? Is he out of here?
He fell off. Satan!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me if tomorrow you receive an interesting notification from YouTube.
Oh, no.
Everybody's channel I've gone on recently has gotten just one person, but I'm seeing if there's a pattern here.
That's wild. How dare they?
Notification. It's not a strike or anything. It's just they say they're limiting your access to advanced features. So
oh wow.
If you get something like that, they limit you or they need ID or something. I'm just curious to see if it happens again.
Oh, I had that already.
Oh, did you? Okay. When did you
I couldn't post links.
Yeah. Embed videos.
Yeah. All this stuff that they wanted to see, I had to send them.
Yeah.
Either my license or a 2-second video of my face, which they know it's me because I've done
your own video all the
showing
time.
myself.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Maybe
They're just doing that, just doing whatever they can, most likely, to aggravate people.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. How long ago did you get that? Like a week ago?
Man, probably way longer.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was that gives me good information, thanks. I was wondering if it was like directed at me and people, but it's just general pain in the ass thing they're doing. Okay.
You're always welcome here. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's direct or going to be because I'm here. Not by what you said. If you've seen them before, the same type of restriction, yeah.
And I did it because I want to post links and other stuff which don't even make sense. Like I said, there's tons of videos that.
Yeah.
So they just do that stuff because they want to aggravate.
Yeah.
They don't like what we're doing for some reason. When all the information is findable, people would just take the time. The information's everywhere.
Yeah, and we pay good money for this, through our taxes and, the bills you send us.
YouTube, Snoop Dogg said he had over 1 billion streams, and it wasn't even 45 grand they paid him. That's wild.
Wow.
These people are just reaping all the benefits.
Yeah.
It's got to come to an end.
Jesus.
I don't even think these people are for America. It's always going to be there. Whether it's America, commune, any one of the isms, they're always going to remain until we make a change.
Mm-hmm. Well, their ultimate plan, if there's any humans left, is to make them smaller, dumber, and more controllable. They want to go back to the point where they're the gods, the giants, so that they can just walk around and drop kick whoever they want.
Have you seen some of these bases, Max? Like these underground bases, a 14-foot giant could walk comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think they're still in existence,
Yeah, they've got lots of chimera down there, augmented humans, genetically altered humans. They've got everything down there. It's a horror show. They probably, apparently, the xenomorphs from Aliens.
Oh, man.
Apparently they got that type of a thing down there with acid blood.
Oh, my God. That's like some Mortal Kombat reptile, I think.
Yeah. It's if you watch the movie Aliens, it's that thing with the shiny exoskeleton, and it's got a mouth that comes out of its mouth big claws, shaped like a man, kind of, but with a really elongated skull.
You ever put a roach in a microwave? I don't know how they live.
No, I haven't. No.
Nothing happens, They just walk through it like it's nothing. I've even seen a video the other day of a guy put light bulbs in a microwave and they lit up.
Yeah. You can make a microwave gun and do that. You can take the magnetron.
We should do it. I want to do it.
You can take the magnetron out of a microwave, put it in a tin can, and direct it at whatever you want. You can blow up TVs, cell phones. Yeah, you could really hurt somebody with that too.
It's that free energy.
Be careful with it. No, it's not free. You have to pump a ton of energy into it. Here, there's a xenomorph for you. I've shared a screen of one. Can you see that?
No, now I can't.
So imagine that thing coming at you.
Oh, man. I don't know. I would shit my pants first.
Yeah.
I'm back, guys. Thanks very much.
I might scream like a woman, but yeah.
That's pretty horrifying, eh?
Hopefully I'll have a 9mm or a 45.
Yeah, something. Nice big gun. Shoot your way out of it.
Yeah, I truly think the government I mean, these scientists, that's their dream to create what they're doing.
Oh yeah, there's insane people in the science world, absolutely insane. You know, if they can do it, they want to do it just because they can. You know, it's
bloody sad.
you know.
Boy, what's up, boy?
Hey boy.
Hey, boy. Hey, yeah, I've been, I was just going to say, I went in to have a look at the back chat, right? And normally there's a little X up there where you can just exit that screen and go back to the live, and or you know, just exit that part of the screen. And as soon as I tried to find that X, it just disappeared. It wasn't there. So I pushed the back button, and guess what? It just dropped me right out of the stream. And I just thought, how clever of StreamYard, you know, just to muck around with us like they do, you know. It's just fuckery, you know. They love it. These cunts love it.
Yeah, everybody's got to improve their ESG score.
Yeah, I think this technology they've had for a long time.
I've heard that recently that AI has been around since the 50s. We're being given the dummy version. President of Iran said that he uses an AI advisor. So yeah, it's out there.
I crushed up some dried pawpaw seeds yesterday, or papaya seeds.
Papaya.
Yeah, I've been collecting them. I've got enough now. I've got a little jar full. I can have a teaspoon every other day with my meals. Just to cut down the parasites in my gut.
Okay. I take a turkey tail mushroom to do that. It helps balance the gut bacteria.
Turkey tail mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's the little one that looks rather driest. It's not too moist, is it?
Oh, it's really hard. It's like woody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the ones.
It's got a nice taste to it too. I've picked my own and I bought my own. They taste good. It's decent tasting tea.
Right, it's a common.
Yeah, it grows almost everywhere. Yeah, it grows on the sides of like old trees and stuff. Yeah, it's great stuff, and it grows everywhere. Yeah, there aren't too many mimickers, so it's pretty easy to identify. Looks like a turkey tail.
It does look like a bloody turkey tail, and all the stripes and everything. Some of them are orange, and some of them are different colours.
Yeah, brown, white, orange.
Sorry?
Yeah, they go brown, white, and orange.
Yes, yeah. Interesting. I'm also I've started drinking clove and star anise as a tea.
That'd be spicy.
Yeah, nice and spicy. I like my spices. I'm just wondering whether we can grow these star anise. They got little seeds in them, some of them.
Yeah, probably. If they haven't cooked them.
If they haven't cooked them, yeah.
They're probably just sun-dried. You can see if they're sun-dried or whatever.
Yeah, well, the papaya seeds that I got from out of the pawpaw, or the papaya, they're green, they're pawpaws, and papaya, I think that's just the difference. But the the seed themselves, I managed to put some in a pot, and I thought, oh, I'll just see if they'll grow. But I think our climate's a bit cool. But anyway, I put some in a bloody pot, and I see some are germinating. So that's amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I'll try anything just about. I got honeydew melons growing on my windowsill.
Well, that's the place
haven't
to
got
start.
any melons to come out yet.
I'm trying to have less honey in my drinks, my hot drinks, and have them in my cold drinks rather, because the heat kills the properties in the honey.
Either giraffes were much smaller back then, or it's a miniature giraffe. That's what it is.
Even this picture here. I mean, it makes more sense if the people were taller.
Yeah. I thought that when I was like a little kid. I thought, because they said there were giants around, right?
Yeah.
Bible. So why wouldn't the giants have been called to help to build the pyramids? Make it a hell of a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Fucking A. Yeah.
It was like 6 or 7 when I had that thought. I'm like, well, you said there were giants, so why would the pyramid have to be built in some weird, funky, levitation way if you've got a bunch of giant people running around?
Even with levitation skills and the same technologies and stuff, but with bigger people.
I don't know. They said the giants are like exponentially strong too. So like what we pick up would be, like 10 times less, like per ratio, than a giant can pick up.
Yeah, well, you've got to think to yourself, now and again, there is those situations that call on what we call the supernatural. But, Maureen's youngest son was trapped underneath a piece of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
But his sister was able to lift that concrete off and throw it off him and get his legs out.
Yeah.
Now, that piece of concrete, she shouldn't have been able to lift, right? Because she was just a child herself, right?
What if she's unhooking from the matrix they've set up and we're all that strong?
I mean, like if you look at it, some people are built like a brick shit. Their strength is huge, their muscles all over, and they're doing the same job I'm doing. Yep. And I'm not even, I'm just skin and bone with a bloody, I'm with a bit of muscle, with a bit of tendons on the side of the bone. I don't have big bulky muscles, but I can still carry the same weights. I can still do the same work, right?
Yep.
I don't know what this is about, but this is odd. Union of California Republics.
I did a show on a thing called Diagolon that has the elites rather worried. What it is from Alaska in a diagonal down to Florida are pretty much all of the conservative states. And just as a joke, one of the girlfriends of one of the truckers in Canada, on the back of a door, there was a map of Canada and the U.S. of North America, and she wrote Diagolon and highlighted all the states and areas that would be part of this fictional place called Diagolon. And our prime minister has even spoken out against this in Parliament. These dangerous conspiracies like Diagolon, which was a joke. But you see how serious they take this thing. Is hilarious. Like, they are terrified of that idea. It's funny.
The government knows that people are on the edge of destroying their paradigm. There's so many cracks in their foundation that you probably could almost fart and it'll tip over.
Just about. We're almost there. We're getting there pretty quickly too. Well, not enough for me. I was hoping people would be there 4 or 5 years ago, but
You did miss out. Hey, Max, did you know that London was doing a thing on remote viewing?
no, didn't know that.
Well, he had it in the rebuttal bar yesterday,
Yeah.
and there's a discussion, I think, that he's trying to have today with is it Shively? Brian Shavely?
Mm-hmm.
And another lady on the internet who's talking about remote viewing and how it's just there's a lot in it. And I mentioned you when they were talking about it. I was on the live yesterday.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I just got a notification a little while ago that he was going to have another one of these about remote viewing. I was hoping that you would be able to join that somehow. And
He's got my email.
I want to try that.
Yeah, he's got my email. He can contact me easily.
Yeah, I did put it up there and make mention of it. I don't know what he's doing, but I think he's got something lined up with this guy today, or it's a notification came through with it today or tomorrow. I'm not sure.
Cool. I'll see if I can drop by.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing remote viewing for 8 or 10 years now, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think you originated that title, or maybe not title, but you're the only person I know that does that. You might have pretty much started that wave. People say ride the wave, but Max
if other
created
people are remote
wave.
viewing in groups, I'm happy that I started that wave. That's awesome.
Hey, well, apparently, I mean, I got a blooming ad come in my feed 2 days ago, and it said, "Would you like to try a free course on remote viewing?" And I tried to give my particulars, and the bloody thing wouldn't go through, so I missed out on the opportunity. But I thought myself, a 3-day course in remote viewing would be.
There's a lot of sales out there in remote viewing. There has been for years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get that. That's the angle they were going with, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do the free method because it's a natural ability,
I was reading on this lady, Max, and she is I forgot what they called her, Brazil, but even Venezuela's screwed.
Oh, wow.
We can't let that happen to Canada and America, no fucking way.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. My wife was saying that she follows this prophecy that says that, and she worries about it, if it's going to come true, that Donald Trump will be the last president of the United States. Well, that could end badly, or it could end in a good way, It depends on how it goes.
I just know as the government is packing heat, I would never put down my heat.
No, but it doesn't have to come to that. It could come just to secession.
No, I'm just saying.
But we could, the provinces in Canada do have the ability to secede from Canada. The same with...
Their best bet would be to step down. I said these politicians, their best bet would be to step down.
Yeah.
And go to prison willingly, because there's just tons of evidence.
Yeah.
To put a lot of these corporations and people away.
Yeah, they keep trying to get Trudeau. He's been, pretty much caught on corruption 4 times. Now he's, he slips out. What he does is he appoints commissions, just like in the States, and they do some fakery, and there you go, you're fine.
These people, if they call people who stand up for their rights terrorists now, and anything I think we do in a positive way to elevate the people that have a counter for it, to find some way to make the people look bad or create some law to tighten the noose, like
Yeah.
Their chess game's pretty good.
Yeah, they're using artificial intelligence to help them, but even it has its flaws, so I hope the human spirit rises above it. It's awareness, really. They've kept so many people asleep, good people asleep, right? And they fooled so many good people into false ideologies and stuff. It's hard to break that. It's mind control.
It is. That's why I through speaking to so many people, I've come to a realization that it's not my job to step in the way. No, most people that tried to step in my way of my path, it didn't work. Thankfully, but it's all up to the person to make a change. That's not my
Absolutely.
job.
Yeah, you can try and give them little
You
tidbits.
can bring awareness.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dino, you're awesome.
I feel like I'm driving double speak sometimes, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we've synced up there, Dino.
Yeah, we're synced. That's what I like about it. We're all synced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll just take some toast into Maureen.
Yeah, see, the stronger that connection, that's what they don't want, right? They don't want that type of a connection where our brains are all synced up and we all think with one mind. That would be a horror show for them. Because we're much smarter.
I'm just going to mute my mic while I go to the loo. Excuse me.
To the loo.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about the moon too, because I think that's a limiting factor for our connection. I think it limits the connection that we have because of the stories of the moon not being there before.
Yeah, that's why I was showing that picture earlier.
Yeah,
of the
and it
mind.
regulates our pineal. 28-day cycle regulates our pineal. I'd like to see what would happen if we didn't have the moon. I suspect that our connection to each other would become incredibly strong.
The moon's like some sort of technology.
I think
Because
so.
look, I've even read stories where the moon didn't come into play till much, much later. But there's no moon here in the Mayan cosmology. It's got the tree of life. Now maybe the one eye over there could be the moon, but I don't know.
Not likely.
Even the firmament here looks artificially built.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be some sort of a dome and have the Taurus field too.
Yeah. Prometheus. Oh no, wrong guy.
Like when I look at all the different cosmologies, that's why I was showing all the different pictures, because it don't matter whose ancestors, whether you're dark, light, whatever, any shade, they were all on the same page. And then these people called NASA come into play, and they, like, I don't know, they got us going chaotically. This bro Sanchez made this collage. I like how he put it together, because I've used all these pictures, but well, except a few, 2 of them. But I just like the Taurus field. Tesla coil.
Yeah, all of them look like mushrooms too. A couple of them there, mushrooms and the Tesla coil. Yeah.
I think there was a tree at the center, and the tree also harnessed the torus field's energy, sort of like in the movie Avatar. Maybe these trees weren't, you know, like an oak tree. They were more like, I don't know.
I've seen Roger showed some giant trees on an island. They were huge. They were like close to half a mile across. Some of them possibly a mile. So they could have been huge.
Reminds me, guys, of a song. I think it used to be in the Ain't Half. The people out of Ain't Half Hot Mum sang it. The whispering grass, don't tell the trees, 'cause the trees don't need to know. Right? So, did we communicate with trees?
Maybe.
I think so. We can now still.
I can feel their field. I can feel their aura. It's always good, though. Trees are usually happy. Flowers are really horny. Some trees are horny too, but usually just like the really flowery trees.
Well, it has to be.
All plants
It
are
has to be.
Yeah.
If they're going to procreate, they're going to have to do something like that, aren't they?
Yep. Yep. All plants like sex. It's that's why they put out some flowers, right?
Horny. Where do they come up with that? I'm horny.
Well, they got pistols in their in their flowers.
Yeah, they got pistols. Pistol, eh?
I love looking at this picture. I mean, I'm sold on my own theory that this is the apple that they're talking about.
Yeah. I found like when you analyze the Bible, it can be analyzed on several different levels, like a physical and metaphysical, mathematical. Yeah. So there's different levels of understanding in the same thing.
That's
And
what
they were
makes
smart
it
about
beautiful,
that.
man.
They were really smart about that.
That's one reason why I love the book. And then to even it out, you know, I use the word hate, is the way people take that tool and manipulate with it and completely mislead.
Yeah, it's confusing if you don't understand that it's not just a physical story, that it's much more. It opens up, you know, all kinds of more information. But, they're not telling people.
Well, it holds keys to so many other things, doesn't it? Mm.
Yeah, they've got in the Bible. There's astrology, remote viewing is in there. You know, because Christ gives you all the keys how to communicate in the Bible. Those are the ones I use because it was a pretty good way to look at it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So having a childlike mind, being open and listening, not babbling at God, listening to God.
Yep. Look within yourself, because we have
Yep.
an apple around us too, and I think that's the truth. You know,
Mm.
as above, so below. It's like infinitely happening. There's a
Yep.
torus field around you, around this and that, but you got to tap into the one within yourself, because that's just like tapping into the universal one. It's all the same.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm.
It's kind of what the science shows of it too, that we can decipher so far. Magnetic fields hold the memory. That's a torus field. All magnetic fields are in torus fields. Natural magnetic fields. I don't know if we can augment them enough now.
I could look at this all day. Huh.
There's an interesting thing that they don't show in this. They don't show the plane. There is a plane in the torus field.
In the center, yep.
What happens is it goes in, but it also comes out from the center, making a swirl around, I don't know how many times, and then it goes back in to go to the negative side.
Like this?
No, it makes like a flower shape. If I were to draw it as a two-dimensional, it makes like a flower shape. Yeah, so on the way into the, like, say it started at the top, it would go into the top, come out at the middle, do a circle around, go back into the middle, and then come out the bottom. So even the torus field they show us isn't quite complete.
Yeah, I see a lot in the torus field. The owl's eyes. I see our eyes. Even with the face, you could put the 6-pointed star. Sacred geometries, like everywhere.
Yeah. And it's also spinning. It should be twisting and spinning into itself.
Peace, mind's eye.
My mind's eye. Yeah, the owl's eye was definitely used in the past, and the bull to represent the torus field. You know, that's why they had the bull everywhere all the time. Sacred knowledge.
Thanks very much, Chuck, for letting me up and letting me have a yarn and that. But I got to get on with a few things. I got stuff to do. It's Monday morning over here.
Get out of my brain.
Probably gonna jump off myself.
So yeah, thanks very much, guys, and it's great talking to you. And if you just get a chance to pop over and see what David London's got on that remote viewing, that would help. Oh, I'm sure you'd help to on the build there, Max.
Alrighty. Well, thanks, Dino. Good seeing you.
Yeah, and man, good to see you too. And have a great day or evening, guys. And much love to everyone. Just keep on keeping on. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Let's keep up the good fight.
Have a great day, Dean, and thank you for coming up. It's good to see you.
And likewise, Chuck. Thank you very much. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, Dino.
You going live today, Max?
Hey?
Yeah, Sundays, right? You do the remote? Or that was yesterday. I
Yeah,
missed yesterday.
exactly. I do Friday and Saturdays. Sundays is my rest time before work.
That's what I'm going to go watch the remote viewing. I got to try it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's fun live because then you can joke around with the people in chat, and it's good to joke around and stuff because you're in a light mood. Your imagination is going, and yeah, it's really just a lot of fun. I try to tell people not to take it seriously too, because it helps not to. You know. All right. Yeah, I hope you. I hope actually, I'd love to see you in class on Friday or Saturday. That'd be awesome. All right, guys. Much love to you all. Bye forever, love. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Thank you, Max, for coming up. And Dean, man, I really appreciate it. Peace to the chat. This is a good build. And I appreciate you all, man. I'm out myself. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.